Hello again, welcome back to JDM Escape. So today we're back onto the Prelude. It might be a little bit worse than we thought, if we're honest. I'll just jump in and I'll show you where we're at. Basically, I knew that it was bad on the rear sills into the rear arches, so it's kind of like what I expected. So I had a look at it, pulled the wheels off it, and I'll show you where we're at. Now, I haven't taken side skirts or anything off yet, so it could be worse behind there. But let me show you what this is like, and we'll make it some kind of idea from here. So, first impressions, I've not touched any of that, so I assume whoever MOT'd it has had a poke around in there and found the hole. So that's kind of that. Obviously, that's bad news. I'm not sure if I can show you from this angle, but there's also some up there as well. Now, this side's not actually terrible. I've just done worse. If you've seen the video on the Subaru, I've done a lot worse than that on all the way around inside the wheel arch. If you haven't seen that, you need to go and catch up on that because there's going to be a video coming on it soon. Now this one, somebody's already been here, and the kind of the thing is, if they'd done it properly, we wouldn't be here now. So that is somebody else's patch, and it continues underneath. I'll show you in a minute. Obviously, there's a gap there because they've probably not sealed it up or something. I don't know. Obviously, one there as well, which again, I've not poked these through. This is how the car came. And if I can show you, if I can get the angle up there, we might actually have to drop that arm out to get to it as well, because it's bad up there too. And as I've just found out, the handbrake, when I was trying to take the wheels off, on the left hand side doesn't work at all. So that's something else to dig into. Great. I like to bite off more than I can chew, as it turns out. So, yeah. Plan is I'm gonna whip off the side skirts and have a look what's behind there, see if there's any more naughty surprises that we didn't ask for. And what we'll do from there is I'll just run the grinder, everything with a wire wheel on it, clean everything up, see how bad it is, see how much we need to replace, and start welding. There's not much for it, unfortunately. Yeah, right, let's get to it. Unfortunately, worked out exactly how I thought. Now this is some that I've already started cutting out. Obviously that's no use anymore, so that's that gone. Now here's what I expected, and it's not surprised me whatsoever. So all that round there I've had to cut out, right up to the top there. Thankfully it's only half of the wheel arch, and there's a little bit, as I showed you before, just there, which is actually really tiny. It's not bad at all, that. Underneath, haven't been around here with the grinder yet, but somebody's already patched it. I think there's a couple of little bits that look like it. So I'm hoping that'll be alright down there. A little bit of surface, we'll clean all that up and underseal everything. But next you'll see of this is when it's all welded up, I'm afraid. And that caliper is the reason the handbrake's no good, because even with the handbrake on, it still turns really easily. So that's knackered. So I'll have to get one of those and weld this up. Let's get to it, let's get the welder out. Right, and there we go. That's the left side of the car all welded up now. All nicely undersealed, new metal in it. Did it in a few pieces, obviously, because it's quite a curve to go around there. So did a few pieces, welded them all together, and obviously filled in the gap. So that's all good now. Right, onto the driver's side of the car, right side of the car. This is surprisingly not the strangest angle I've ever filmed at for YouTube. You join me on the driver's side on the floor. Not sure if I want to show you what's like under here because there's not much left, but I'm gonna anyway, so here we go. Prepare yourself. So I've been under here with a hammer, see what's soft, get rid of it, and I followed it with a grinder. And this there, all that was a previous patch that somebody's done, and I assume they've not sealed it. So all the water's been sat behind there where all this stuff's still sat, where I've got cut out yet, and has eaten away at the entire sill. So there is no structure there at all. It's even gone, their patch line was there, and then there's a patch here as well that's now got a hole in it. And it goes into the wheel arch and into the sill on this side as well. That's worse than I thought, because that goes sort of round the curve as well, because we can see the inside of it there. So we've got to put a piece in across there and go up that side where it's still flaking off in my hand. Move the handbrake cable out of the way and put some structure into it because of what it is. It's not just a covering piece. It's actually got to be strong as well. So this side is a lot worse than I thought. The other side's kind of how I expected it, even though it went all the way around the arch. But oh well, right up. Right then, this got a little bit more out of hand than I thought on this side. So we're doing all that up there. The piece in there, that's like a eye shape almost. Bottom piece, and I've still got a piece to do on the inside, but at the moment I've had to put the wheels on because I need to move the car out of the way to do other things. So when we get back onto that, we'll do the underneath side and fix everything else. Okay guys, let me catch you up on what happened between the last clip and this one. So since then, the Subaru's gone off the ramp, as you might have noticed in the background. If you've seen the other videos, you'll know what's going on with that. And now the Prelude's on the ramp, so I can sort of carry on where I left off. Now, I got into this corner, into the wheel arch, and started, you know, dealing with everything I need to do there. It was almost sorted. I sorted the sill underneath, and just got into like the back bit. Now, this is where my excuses come in. On the Subarus, which is what, quite frankly, I'm used to welding, there's like a double skin. So you get the sort of arch that's like outside where the wheel is, where you normally end up welding, and you get an inner skin. And you can get between them on the Subarus. It's like a gap though, it's like a void. So, I'm kind of putting you off showing you what happened, but I'm going to show you. So while I was welding an extra little piece that I hadn't seen when the car was on the floor, I was just coming to finish it up and spotted through a little hole in the weld a flickering flame, and I thought, oh right, that's not uncommon, as any welder knows. You blow on it, it will go out, it'll be fine. This one didn't go out, and it took me a little while to kind of realise that it wouldn't go out. So what I actually did was I kind of realised it was in the boot because there was smoke coming out of the boot, there was smoke coming out of all the little panel gaps and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, something's actually caught there, something's actually got fuel for this fire. So I didn't want to open the boot at that point. So what I did was this. So this is where I was welding. I was sorting all this out, and I had to cut very quickly a hole there with a grinder. And as you can tell, I had to get the extinguisher out, and it's all got powder everywhere now and stuff like that. But unfortunately, what that fuel did that I mentioned is get into the boot and set that entire, hold on, that carpet goes on the right hand side, and set that on fire. The boot floor mat is absolutely fine, but we have toasted the carpet. So obviously now it's like a one step forward, two steps back, so I've got to weld the hole back up that I created to put the fire out. And obviously we need a boot carpet now as well, so that's kind of sucking. But, you know, it's one of those things. I suppose this is the thing with welding, it can happen. I just didn't want to open the boot and just fill it with oxygen. So yes, I've now got powder everywhere from the extinguisher, but this is why we have them around, you know, for the day that it does take you by surprise. With hindsight, what I will always do from now on is not assume that it was the same as every Subaru that we've welded. I thought there would be nothing behind it because it'll be in the void between the metal panels. It won't be into the boot. And because it's not far around the corner, I thought, you know, I'll be safe, I'll be fine. But as I said, what I should have done is open the boot, moved everything out of the way, and that from now on is the learning curve I've took, and I will always do it that way. So I'm happy enough to say that that was my mistake. I messed that up, but now I've got to put it right. So we'll get the welder back out, try not to set anything else on fire, and then find a boot carpet, which could be fun. Yeah. Okay, fixed my little fire extinguisher hole hack, so that's all covered up now. And all this is now complete again, so it's got all that in there, and I've put the arm back in now too, because I had to take all that out to get to it. So she's welded up there, she's got like a new sort of inner and outer sill in, so I'm quite happy with that. Right, next thing's next. Wheel back on, and side skirts needs to go back on, then got a few other things to look at. Okay, next part was the exhaust, which, as you'll see, is, well, you won't see because there's no torch on it. Hold on a minute. Now slightly missing. I've just took the front section off, which is now here. When I drove it out the other day, that happened. See the big crack in the flexi there, which is why I've now got a temporary little ramp out of my my garage there. So I need to cut that out and replace it. We can't get a full pipe locally, so I'm struggling with that. So that's on order, and I'm going to take these strange little fog lights out, which I don't know who put them in there. I don't like them. I don't think they work. So they're coming out as well. There we go. That's all that nasty wiring and all the nasty lights out. I didn't like those at all. Don't know what they were for. And I'll tell you something quite funny. When I bought the car, I never spotted them. I actually took a photo of the car parked out here, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, first time I've seen this. But now that I've seen them, I couldn't unsee them. You know how it is. So that's that bit for now. Right. I'm kind of waiting for the exhaust part now, so I'll pick this up when that comes, I think. Right then, we're back. So, next bit of the exhaust turned up. The Flexi, the brand new one, a little bit long. This was kind of the newest one I could get, unfortunately, so it's a little bit longer than that one. So what I'm planning to do is I've just chopped this end from there, and they slot in quite nicely. But you could actually just clamp that and just close it up kind of like that and clamp it, and it'll be fine. A bit of sealant, it'll be alright. What I'm thinking is, because that is technically too long, I may shorten this on both ends, still sleeve it in a sense, but I may also weld it as well. I haven't quite decided the finishing product yet, but that's going to have to be cut out from somewhere under there, so I might try and get this mount off. I don't really want to lose this mount because that's a nice mount. This one is a little bit agricultural, and I'm not entirely sure it belongs there because that just kind of looks like some threaded bar. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but there's threads there. But that one, don't entirely believe it needs to be there. Let me just get a torch and I'll show you underneath the car and what I'm thinking. So because obviously the cat's there, if that mount was missing, the two little brackets there would support it, but yeah, I don't know. At this stage it's kind of early to say, so I might just like see how it goes and then see what works. I just don't want to lose the proper mount that goes to the back of the engine, so I would rather send the other mount further backwards. If we have to lose one, go for that one. But I'm going to cut this up, I'm going to try and start sleeving it together and see if we need to weld it and see if it becomes necessary to lose that front mount. But we'll see. There's a lot of mounts going on under there anyway, so it can not matter too much. There we go. That is what it's all going to look like. That is now tacked up on this end and tacked up on that end. So that will be the new Flexi in place of the knackered old one. As to the mount, yeah, I haven't quite worked out whether we're going to get away with not having it or whether we need it. But at the moment, what I need to do is just make all this obviously secure, close all the holes up on both ends, seam it all up, and put it on and see how it goes. That one, as I said, I do want to keep that one, so that one's kind of sleeved on there right now, but we'll come to that. Right, seam it up then. There we go. Welded up the whole way around both ends, and I've just put a little bit of my usual VHT black paint on it, just to, one, make it look a bit better, a little bit better, and try and protect it a little bit. So that's that for now. It's the end of the day for me, so I'm going to let that paint set overnight. It's just, it's only precautionary, but it's better like that. So then in the morning I'll come in and put that back together and hopefully shut it up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat you to the sound, because even though I'm going to do this, I promise the camera does no justice to it at all. This is, without any shadow of a doubt, the loudest thing I've ever heard. And I'm a Subaru owner. Right. I'll put this there, so we're not close up. Now bear in mind, the reason I'm going to show you the sound, and the reason it's so loud, is because it comes out of the engine to 4, branches to 1, and that's it. So it stops like there. If you're listening on headphones, take your earphones out. See what I mean? I said it was loud. Now, for those that know me, I had a Subaru with a straight pipe on it a few years ago. They're probably about the same thing. And I mean, the Subaru that I had, it had the manifold, no cats on it, no pipe work at all, no boxes in the pipe work. It was just a tube, and it went the length of the car and came out the back, and it was horrendously loud. So that is probably on par with it, but I don't know. I think that's louder. I do think that's louder. Louder than a straight pipe Subaru. I'll leave that to your imagination. Right, I will pick this up in the morning when we get that put back on the car, and then it's going for its MOT, so we'll see how well it doesn't do. There we go, so I came in this morning, fitted everything back up, 3 bolts up there, 3 bolts there, and it's perfect now. No holes in it, nothing. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. As I think I said before, the problem is with this that you can't get a flexi pipe for this car, obviously, because they're quite old. People just don't make them anymore. So that's that. Right. Next step for this is it's going for MOT. So this video is going to finish here, and we will pick up what happens in the next Prelude video, which there might be... Don't quote me on it yet, but there might be something else happens before that, and that's all I'm saying right now. But this is going for MOT now. It's got off to MOT today, so we'll see what happens there. And in the next video, we'll talk about it and decide what it is. Let's hope that welding holds up. It should do, because it's sat on it on the ramp now, so we should be fine. Right. As always, thank you very much for watching, and make sure you subscribe for the next one so you don't miss out. There's a lot more to come, and there's a lot more to come on the Subarus as well, so keep an eye on it. Right, I'll see you again soon. Thanks, guys.